My name is Buckner. I am 52 years old. I'm a mother of three. I have two daughters and one son. And, I can remember about domestic violence. My mother was a victim of domestic violence. And my father used to literally beat her. And I was about 5 years old, and I used to see him. She would be sitting on the porch, and he would come home, and he would just take his fist and knock her out the chair and begin to beat her. And I constantly seen this go on throughout my life until I was about maybe 14 years old. And at that point when she got tired, and she literally separated, divorced, and from my father. And at that point, I never thought it would happen to me. I didn't think I would be a victim of domestic violence. I got married when I was 19 years old. I had my first son, and that's when it began. He said he loved me. I believe that he loved me, but the abuse started with the verbal. The cursing back and forth. And it wasn't one-sided, He would curse me, I would say, I would curse him back. And he would tell me to shut up. And I felt that he didn't have the right to tell me to shut up, and I would continue to talk. He would slap me and say, I said shut up. Tears would flow from my eyes, and I would continue to talk because I didn't feel he had the right to tell me to shut up. And every time I said a word, he would hit me. And it got so bad, and then he would apologize. We would physically fight. And it would get to the point where we out of breath, tired, then make up, say we're sorry for what we did. The next weekend, same pattern, constantly. I gave birth to my first son. He was my husband. We got married. I gave birth to a son, and I thought things would be different because I had my first child. Say it wasn't so. It just got worse. It was like, the abuse started again. He started cheating. When I found out he was being unfaithful, I get violent and I say things about it, and he would get mad and he would hit me because I brought it up, and the pattern would go on. And I know many would ask me why I didn't leave. I felt trapped. I felt I couldn't leave, so I didn't leave. In the process of all of that, it's like I end up giving birth to my daughter. My second daughter, when I had my oldest daughter, it was like for a whole 2 years, things was beautiful. He didn't curse, we didn't fight. Things was just beautiful. So I felt, hey, okay, you know what, this could work. Okay, later on, when she got about 3 years old, the abuse started again. I'm like, oh my God, here we go again, the cycle began again. And we fought, we went through a lot of things, and it's like, we'll make up. He said he was sorry, he would never do it again. And then drugs got into play. When the drugs got into play, it was like it was a totally different man that I didn't even know, but he said he was going to get help for the drugs, and I said, okay. I tried to help him through, the transition from being domestically violent. Okay, well, I felt, okay, well, he's doing the drugs, maybe he'll stop hitting on me. He started stealing from me, and he began to beat me even more. And I was like, okay, but I ended up getting pregnant with my baby girl. I still stayed in the marriage because I felt that, I'm going to make my marriage work. I'm not going to be part of the statistic that say, I got a divorce. The beating continued, the cheating, the unfaithfulness. And it was hard for me because I tried to shelter my kids. I didn't want them to see this. So it's like the beating occurred at the time when they was not there, or if they were asleep at night, and I tried to not scream loud. It was just a pattern of constantly going through things. I remember an incident when they got older. I was going to work, and he was staged break-ins in the house, and called me and tell me someone broke in the house. It was him breaking in the house. The police come out, said no, it's an inside job. He would beat me for calling the police, and it got to the point where he put a sawed-off shotgun in my face, and he told me he would kill me. And I grabbed the kids and I put them in the car and I left. When the police came, they searched the house. They couldn't find the gun. They couldn't find anything. But it happened. And so I filed the report. And then as soon as the police left, he beat me. He drugged me and he beat me. We was driving. He took his fist and he beat me in my head, where it was just like, so painful. I began to lay on the horn of the car because I just wanted the pain to stop. And it's like, it's like I began to just like cry out for help. Somebody just stop this man from hitting me. And, I tried to fight back to defend myself, but I couldn't fight against him. I know I wasn't strong as he were. So I couldn't, really do all that I needed to do. And yet still, through it all, guess what? I stayed in the marriage. Said, okay, I'm still going to make this marriage work. We driving down the 710 freeway. He drove me off the 710 freeway. He said, if I can't have you, can't no one have you. Drove me off the freeway. The car smashed down. He got up, walked away, left me there. The ambulance came. Someone found me in a ditch. They took me to the Long Beach Memorial Hospital. I still stayed in the marriage, took the abuse, took the physical abuse, the mental abuse, the verbal abuse. I took it all. I had to endure because I thought I was keeping my family together, because I wanted my children to have a mother and a father. And I tried to keep the family members. No one knew what I was enduring. They just thought I was this strong woman that I could handle everything. Guess what? I'm not as strong as people think that I am. I couldn't survive all of that. But I tried to for my kids' sake. And through it all, I can say this, that, seeing my mother go through it, seeing me go through it, then have to endure my own daughter to go through the same, something has to give, something has to stop, because it's like it's a pattern, and it's like it's a generational now, because it's trickling down from my mother to me to my daughter. And it's like, I hurt even now as I'm talking about it. It's painful, because regardless of what I say in my mouth, you have no right to hit me. I have no right to hit you. We don't have that right, but we take upon ourselves, think we can defend ourselves by words and physical abuse, but we can't, because I couldn't do it. And I had to endure things, and I went through a lot of things. And like, even though I'm talking about it now, I could just truly say that I never understood domestic violence when my mom was going through it. I didn't understand it. And until I had to live it myself. When I had to endure and go through some things, and now I realize it's not right. You have no right. We shouldn't have to endure and go through domestic violence. Any type of violence is not fair, nor is it right. And it's hard for me to talk about it, because I feel that I lost everything through violence. And it's like, it's just unfair.
How do you feel about your grandkids possibly having to repeat this cycle?
That's something I pray about over my grandchildren, because I want to break that generational curse. I realize and I see it as now that it is a pattern and it's a generational curse. And I pray over my granddaughters, and I pray over my grandson, because it has to stop. Enough is enough. We don't have the right, and I don't want them. I shelter my kids from it. They didn't know that their dad was abusive. They didn't know. They wasn't aware until they got older, and I shared the stories, but I don't want them. My grandkids had to see their mom go through this here, and I don't want them to be able to know I want them to be aware of it, but I don't want them to have to go through it. I don't. It's just not, it's not right. Why beat her? I believe that there is no justifiable cause. We have to break the cycle. Should no one have to endure this? No one. And we can't be silent. We have to break the cycle, because we can't continue to allow this to manifest. There is no justifiable cause. Why beat her? Why beat him? We can't continue, because it's painful, and you live with that pain even after you think it's gone, and it's not. It's not.
Yeah.